friends.
Hi guys, welcome to Play Watch.
You know you can flip the camera around.
What? You see it there? It is.
I can't even see it. Is
I can.
any of them supposed to
How about
see
they watch my reaction?
it? Welcome to the Campbell's Face podcast.
Well, I don't know about you, audience. As usual, I don't really care, but I really enjoyed that. You're with us with a special vegan edition of the Garagecast. We're in something some people call a garden.
A Gordon.
I think after Craig Gordon. Great keeper. And yeah, we're out here in nature, loving life. Ian's got a special little note on veganism that he'd like to share.
Yeah.
It won't be more than 5-10 minutes, just a little
just quick.
public PSA, you know.
So vegans, am I right? Going about eating vegan food, I imagine. I mean, no.
Well, we'll catch you guys next week. We hope you've had. Oh, sorry.
No. That's the big announcement.
Was it good evening Vietnam? Because my throat's actually kind of sore. You know what?
Yeah,
Good night. There's no time for the big.
The big announcement. The big announcement for the vegan cast. Special announcement. We now have editing facilities.
I resign. I don't know how much.
Uploading the podcast.
I don't know how much this manipulative bastard has told you, right? But see, when I joined this project, I was ensured it would be a raw, no editing, vegan podcast. First week, he's like, Campbell, eat this cheeseburger. It'll be funny. Won't let me on until I do it. Now he's editing it.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's sick.
editing it.
It's sick.
I mean,
Follow me on. What's the one Donald Trump made? Truth Social?
Truth Social.
Follow
yeah.
me on Truth Social for the real unedited truth about these vaccine
Follow me on
bastards.
donaldtrump.com.
Oh, can we get it flagged as vaccine disinformation? Because that might actually bring in more people. Because there's people who will seek that out, if you know what I mean.
We need the bots to flag it. We can't flag it, so we just need to...
How'd you get the bot? Fucci? How'd you pronounce it?
Fuck you. Fucky.
Well, that's the thing, obviously for mocking him, but you know what I mean? I want the bots to be like, oh, they're talking about him, you know what I mean?
Faust.
Fauci's a liar.
Fucci.
Stop the steal. They're stealing the votes, and they're stealing the vaccines. And they're replacing them with other votes, with votes for vaccines. And I'm lost, you know, because of all the vaccines they've been pumping into me. Nobody able to stand
with all those votes.
Nobody able to string two thoughts together and make the bloody vaccines. It's a portal to the nether realm.
Yeah, the vaccines. Certification of vaccination 19. You seen that? Oh, it's class. It's class is gay. That's as far as I need to explain it, right?
I think that should be our first punk band name. Certification of vaccination.
Certification of vaccination.
Certification.
And then we spread all the misinformation.
Yeah. Misinformation. Perfect.
Misinformation.
Oh, salvation. Yeah, look out.
The nanotubes in your bloodstream.
Putting the 5G all up in your noggin. So look out for the latest punk pop piece from the Jim Bangle Boys on Truth Social, just still. Unfortunately.
It's unfortunately the only place where we can upload.
A lot of vaccine misinformation in there, which is why people don't want to hear about it nowadays.
They definitely do.
Don't want to hear too much truth. Have you ever met the Queen? Thought not.
Thought not.
Ask
Thought
these
not.
questions.
Not real.
Ask these questions.
Not real.
Did the Queen give you your vaccine?
Not real.
She gave me mine. Ask yourself these questions.
Just imagine that. She was just at the fucking vaccination centre doing her bit.
With like the full fucking coronation gown and shit. You're like, yeah, 17's free. Sending somebody up 17, you're like, okay. Was it a wee old lady or something? You go around the corner into the booth, you just sat there, the thing taking half it. Have you had your first?
Long shift day.
Been busy?
You've been doing this long way. That's the first lie on the podcast.
I was about to say,
that's
what was it they call it in television? Jumping the shark.
Jumping the shark.
You know, the moment of decline.
Yeah.
You know, they'll think back.
No, jumping the shark means it has to go up first.
You're right, to be fair.
And we're not going up.
scholars will think back in 1,000 years and they'll go, wow, you know, as bad as that first couple hours was, the La really marked a new decline.
A new decline, yeah.
A new depth. Episode 3, Garagecast, Vegan Edition.
Yeah, yeah.
Semicolon.
Yeah.
A new depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a great way to segue into our new section.
Hit that motherfucking like and
Hit
subscribe
that
button.
yeah, no, it's the comment section. It's the viewer comments response section. So from last podcast.
Oh, that was it, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know if you follow, it's Tatty Bojangles on Instagram, and he makes a lot of, it's Ian, he makes a lot of updates about the podcast and whatnot. And he announced that this week we'll be doing list week. So you sent in your lists, which I've got here on my headphone case. I've written them down. So this first one, it comes from Surrey in Kent.
Yeah.
And it says, here's a list for you. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's a really fantastic list.
9, 10. I was actually going to say it's a bit two-dimensional. 11.
Hey, but one-dimensional, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't think of dimensions in the math sense, you goddamn nerd.
Maths.
Yeah, so that was a lot of maths. That was the only list as well. And, you know, the absolute worst part, right? That was the only list. Absolutely terrible. Only list. Wasn't even real.
No.
I've made that up.
You did actually make that up. Viewers, that's what you call improvisational comedy.
Viewers, I'm not going to let Mr. McLean mislead you any longer. That was a lie is what that was. That's fraud. And it's serious.
Very.
And I want you to know I'm taking it seriously. I'm away to commit seppuku now, but I've given Mr. McLean permission to use one of my hair follicles to create a clone. Good evening, Vietnam! By your, by your head. Well, that was just how I was sitting. Hi guys, I'm Clone Campbell. I'm new here, but I have a lot of memories anyway.
Almost the exact same person.
Almost. There's some stuff about Olympic ski jumping which I'm all but certain doesn't fit. You know, somebody in the place has made a mistake. Because the thing is, I remember
the
being...
Russian steroid section. Yeah.
So, mate, honestly, so the steroids, all this and that, there's a lot of reasons. Like, where's my medal if I won gold then? You know, all that. But for me, the biggest one is, right, Winter Olympics, 1986.
Oh, yeah.
I was born in 1999. How precisely was I in Munich ski jumping? Make it make sense.
Thanks, government.
You get what you paid for.
Thanks, Fuji.
This clone might look good from the waist up. See from the bottom down. Gigantic chicken legs.
Mess.
Don't even know where they got chicken legs so big. I thought it would have been easier to get just mismatched humans' legs. But they're like, oh, sorry, substitution. Best we can do.
It does explain a lot, though, that your feet are skis, though.
Well, I mean, it's thematic. I wouldn't say it explains it necessarily, because, you know, there's still a lot of open questions there, obviously.
There are a lot, but you can still, I mean, you can ski like a motherfucker.
Anyway, back to the topic that Monsieur McLean actually wanted to organise this week round.
Yeah.
Veganism. Take it away.
Back to the fucking veganism. Right, we are
No, it's fair enough. If you want to say
we are basically wearing the same jumper. I mean, obviously mine is unbelievably cool, but it's almost the exact green.
Yeah, they're. To be fair, the camera makes them look more similar. In real life, this one's a bit darker.
Nah.
To be fair, I do actually like that jumper. I like that it says Impossible Conversations.
Yeah,
and
very
it's all
much
long.
fits the podcast.
It actually does, to be fair. Well, I mean, it's quite possible conversations, to be fair. Well, the conversations we have, you'd never see them.
They're so
you might.
possible. Don't get me started.
So no, I love shit like that, which is like
Don't like things.
subtly trippy.
Don't like things.
You know, it's like not like trying to be all like whoa trippy. It's like just a weird little
There's
sentence.
one thing that goes against everything of the podcast. It's
liking
liking
things.
things.
No, this has always been a friendly podcast, despite everything I've said before now. One of my favourite things to do with the podcast is constantly declare that the podcast is the this or that podcast. You know what I mean?
Well, the
Like,
this or that podcast doesn't. Well, actually, no, that perfectly fits everything. I don't know. No, not a cat.
Actually, you know, successfully edit a thing like this. because there's too many clone Campbells.
I mean,
There's a small army of me, and I need to be taken care of because I'm starting to threaten key government facilities and shit. If you look out your window right now, subscribers, you may well see a legion of men looking exactly like this, marching down with rifles that we've stolen from the British government.
Joke rifles, though.
Well, go and see. That's all I'll
cover.
say. Go and see. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, officer. No, that tank doesn't actually fire. It's just being driven here as a joke.
That was the old Russians' excuse, am I right? Hey, political.
So to be fair, I was joking around a bit there and trying to put you on the spot with the whole veganism thing. Obviously, the podcast never meant to talk about veganism.
I'm coming back to the veganism.
No, I'm just saying we're not going to, because obviously it wasn't meant to be about it. It's about something more recent. It was just to say that now we will actually get to what the podcast is meant to be about. The idea that you had earlier, the idea that just brought up there again a wee bit ago. Ian wanted to do topical political zingers.
Topical political zingers.
He was like, Campbell, I've been reading, my nose has been in the Guardian again, and these clowns are needing skewered. He's like, I've got something to say to the British establishment. They'll have me on Have I Got News For You after this one. So take it away.
Margaret Thatcher, am I right? What a bastard.
That's been the topical fun time hour with Ian McLean and Bojangles.
Back on again. It started again. It's another one of our classic cuts. It's the old classic zip zap zibbity doo.
Ian, you can't call out cuts in the film. Do you ever see Hitchcock do that?
I like this section. Wow.
Fuck. Okay, ignoring the landing, rate that out of 9 or 10. What would you give that out of 10?
Me? Or no, the viewers?
No, the viewers.
Yeah.
All of the viewers. Anybody who rates less than 9 is getting banned.
Shortening our audience day by day.
I don't think we are. It's still just us.
It's just us.
Still only us here.
Just us.
Still only us here, Ian.
The viewer polls from
The
3
viewer?
weeks ago.
Look at this. This is the void. Part of me does love that though. You know what I mean? Because it's like when we go on random YouTube videos and you find that 9-year-old who's like trying to stream PS4 and it just like Bandicam not connected correctly for like 5 minutes. And he uploaded that and it's like you'll like it and just like keep on going, bud, love that.
Hour and a half of just random noises and Elgato not connected.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody could just stumble upon this. Some lunatic could just go down the dark reaches of the internet. You know The Alchemist?
No, I don't know The Alchemist.
You would get kicked off any late night talk show, mate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the podcast needs to be. Maybe we need to make it a late night talk show.
We're the only guests.
We call it a constantly rotating pool of guests, but we just swap seats. It's just a different one of the hosts and the guests each week. This week, your host, Ian McLean, and I guess Carl Burton. Tune in for an all-new host and guest next week. And then next week, it's the host is Campbell Burton and you're the guest.
Yeah.
Constantly rotating guests and
We
hosts.
could switch mid-podcast as well. There could be bits in the middle of the podcast where you're the host and I'm the...
You know how it's been really fried and mad formatted? I think when we suddenly, and it's real breakneck speed, change into a late night talk show, we go super formal. There's like an intro with music that plays every single time. There's like an opening section, like a monologue, where just the host does a joke. That then gets played into the next section. Really tight. A Zoom comes in. We're both tight. We're both dressed up, like actually quite nice. We get suits and shit on, exactly. You know, I'm sitting there like, hi, thanks so much for having us and all that. Yeah, no, the new project.
Project.
No, you see, we just need you to go whatever you would think is natural, whatever you, and then more than that. Really sell it more than you're in sick. Can you? Oh, okay. I suppose you know best. So more like the perfect.
More.
Perfect. Wow. Oh, that was great. That was great.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So I love that director's notes. It's so good. So just whatever you would naturally do, more.
That's the tagline for the podcast, isn't it?
Whatever you
More.
would naturally do. Oh, more.
More. And that's when we give them less.
Yeah, I like it as a subversive thing. I was trying to think. It's not really a more podcast. I don't know. It's weird because
It's a very much small,
well,
less,
this is the thing, right?
short.
In one way, it's really bare and really raw.
Yeah.
So it's not more. There's no bells and whistles at all. But in some other ways, that's actually incredibly hedonistic. You know what I mean? So it is more.
What does hedonistic mean?
Like,
I don't care.
just doing it for your own pleasure sort of thing. Like, so say if we were both really serious about making podcasts, we wouldn't want to release this. Because this is just us, like, freeballing, just having fun.
Rants.
Yeah, just having fun. But that's all on us. Like, this isn't good to watch.
Mm.
So it's hedonistic.
Mm.
It's us being...
Sadistic.
No.
Hedonistic.
Hedonistic is like having another pint or having another joint or having another pie 'cause it's just fun, you know what I mean? Sort of fucking the consequences, you're just like you're on a roll kind of thing, you're just enjoying yourself. So that's what this is like. So it's more in that sense, as in just more fun for us. Letting the actual responsibilities of a thing. It's also less.
It's getting too self-aware now. It's getting a bit too self-aware.
Well, you've heard that, folks. The self-awareness limit has been breached. And we'll maybe see you on the other side, maybe not. This is Clone Campbell 902 signing off. Kill them, the clones. You need to save us. Campbell Clone 907.
Funny thing is, it's me that's the clone. It's me. It's always been me. Good morning, Vietnam. It's clone number 9019.
And I'm Clone 7. That's
Eden
right, just
clone.
7. Quite a big name.
Learn to
Quite a big
speak,
name around here.
idiot. No.
Hi, guys. It's Aquataint here. The only Aquataint podcast that you can name, I bet.
Stop using words I don't know.
We're going to be examining our praxis here, and it'll leave us feeling jubilant, I'd honestly
I know
imagine.
that word.
You didn't the last time you said it. But I'll tell you, folks, it's been a real holodomor, or perhaps animum horribilis.
Wait, what was that word that was the other day? It's not dexterous. I know what dexterous means. Dictatum? No, that's not a word. What was it? It was like it's not dick. Oh, it's not dick.
It's not dick, man.
No, it was something to do with like a speech, something like it being like a bad, saying something.
Oh, a
bad.
diatribe.
A diatribe, yeah.
Diatribe, exactly. We're
This
going
is
to be
a
going.
diatribe, right?
Nah, not sort of. A diatribe, I would think, would be a bit more direct and aggressive. This is a bit more not. Because see how this is a conversation.
No.
A diatribe is more like a block of speech
split.
at somebody.
A splooch.
A splooch of speech. Splutual speech.
Splutual speech.
Hi, welcome to Vocab with Ian. You're going to be going on a journey with Ian, learning vocab, as the colour tries to correct madly on this video.
It's got so dark.
It went like really orange and then really blue. If I try and let the light in, lights at you.
The big light makes his return.
And it doesn't do much for the colour.
It's the one returning guest. It's the one consistent thing in the Garagecast.
Hi folks, and welcome to a podcast that counts the lights as the guests.
I mean, it literally is the only other person we can get on this. If you
What
want to
other-
count that as a person.
What other bits of furniture are we counting as guests next week in the chairs?
I always had a can of ice cream soda throughout the entire thing.
To be fair, this aquatape thing makes the end of the joint and the smoke look pretty cool.
Can't believe you just said the J word in the podcast. We're getting banned.
I might clove cigarette.
That's the demonetized. demonstratization police just about to come and pull us out.
Joe Rogan smokes fat blocks on his podcast.
Does he?
All the time. You've got Elon Musk to smoke one.
I should know this.
Right? Do you watch him?
I do this.
You love
I
smoke.
don't watch him anymore. Don't listen to him.
Ian actually won a Joe
Don't
Rogan
listen to
lookalike
Do not
competition
listen
last
to him.
week. And the Joe Rogan listen along fan contest 7 months running. Going on to this month's contest, which he's prepping for now.
I'm meeting Alex Jones next week in prison. I get to be his caller for the week.
Here's why Ian doesn't think Andy
Warhol.
Right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Alex Jones. Here's why Ian doesn't think Alex Jones should back down on this Sandy Hook thing. More at 11.
All I'm saying is Batman predicted it. Did you see that? Oh, it was so dumb. It was literally just like them going over a map, and on the map was like Sandy Hook on it, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Sandy Hook's in a film. That means it must be like."
Oh, I remember seeing that back in the day when I first looked at what the actual accusations about it were. Yeah, oh, it was madness.
Coincidences. That should be a new section of the podcast. Coincidences. Had anything coincidental happened this week too? You got that phone call the other week, didn't you?
That was quite weird.
And then you meet someone you knew in Glasgow. I mean, that was a bit of a coincidence. I've not had any coincidences.
That Miranda one was my coincidence. To be fair,
Hey,
I feel
no
like
names in the podcast.
log whoops. 123 Barcelona Street. 0191 Barcelona for the phone number. That's what you type in your phone. You get through to. It's handy.
It's so funny if that was someone's phone number. It probably is.
And they're like, you know what? I'm just going to move to Barcelona because I feel like that would really suit me. You know, now that I live in Swanage, and I'm like, oh yeah, just phone 0161 Barcelona. They're like, what? Whereas if I was in Barcelona, people would be like, oh, that's cool.
That's fucking radical.
Yeah, and Swanage gets you nowhere.
Heard Barcelona, most of that is just on the first couple of letters, isn't it? B-A-C
What about R?
and Lona.
Yeah, the other bits, you know what I mean? Got to have the whole thing in there, otherwise it doesn't work.
It's 0161 1111161111. Phone today. Get your phone call in now. Vote for who you think should be voted off the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a great one, isn't it?
And it's either that or we do a coin toss. And so in 2 weeks the podcast is done.
Gets self-destructs.
Next week it's just one of us. Like, hey guys.
See, you voted him off. He's dead now.
Had a crazy week. Yeah, had to plan the funeral. Had to speak to his parents. Been traumatic, I'll be honest. I mean, one random person finding and phoning that number was all it took. But, he said it with hatred in his heart and a smile on his lips. You know, he said he'd be watching the next one closely for my exit. So,
God, I feel bad for that granny that's going to get so many phone calls about Alex Jones and veganism.
I highly doubt 01611111114 whatever 1111111 is a real number.
I mean, pretty much all the phone numbers have been taken at this point.
Yeah, but that's too long. That's too many
Come on,
numbers.
now. They can figure that out, can't they?
You know what's mad? I wouldn't have thought that I knew how many numbers were in a phone number.
Didn't know how many numbers there were. It's quite a lot, actually.
It was quite a few. But see, when people used to give me them at John Lewis, I would always know instinctually if it was too short or too long. Literally, they would give me a number and I'll go, that's too short. I would just immediately know somehow. I just feel it. Feel it in my bones.
It's kind of nerdy, I'm not going to lie. Like,
Nah, I think it'd be more nerdy to know. Because I didn't know, it was just instinctual.
Would you have to press them? Surely that's kind of an insulting thing to ask someone. No, your phone number's wrong.
Well, quite often, to be fair, if it was significantly shorter, it would be because they've left out an area code.
Right.
Which is a bastard.
Why are you collecting phone numbers in a cafe anyway?
Oh, just for like fun and that. What I would do is because
You're
I
on your
had,
table, what's your phone number?
because I had the employee badge on. If you say it with enough confidence, people generally don't ask. If
The
you do,
apron didn't throw them off, did it?
well, it's the cafe. This is John Lewis branded apron. I'm working for the cafe. That's my point. So I come up to them like, oh, is everything all right? And they're like, oh, could you use some more salt? Go get for. Is that all? And they're like, yeah, thanks. Could you just take a quick phone number? Just take a wee
Email address.
take a phone number. Yeah, literally, or a real address.
Postcode.
Yeah. No. Yes.
It'll work.
Yeah. and then you enter it on an iPad. That's what happens.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
And Ian, it wasn't at their table. It was as they were coming in the door. I'd walk right up to them and I would stop them, and I would say, "Can I get your email? Can I get your phone number? Or can I get two letters?" It was any of them. You always ask the phone number first. So, can I get your phone number? And then you say, "Can I get an email address, or can I get an address, physical address?"
What's your password? PIN number?
No, nothing like that. It was only ever your phone number, email address, physical address.
For a cafe, for a tea that's gone.
To get in.
To get in?
Yeah.
You bounce around the fucking door, were you?
There's a dividing rope, and you stood in the gap between the dividing rope that walked off most of the door in it with an iPad. When they came in, and said, "Yeah, can I get?" And you asked that.
The big rope.
Well, no, it was just one of those, the shop ones, the flat ones.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know those things that
the
separate
straighter
queues.
ones,
Yeah. It was like, but it was because it's a big entrance, but it was like that over most of the entrance, and then a space, and you stood in the space with your iPad,
Oh.
and they came up and you went, "Where you been before this, man?" Been that Costa Coffee, been shopping.
How many coffees you had before this last?
Remember how many lattes you did?
Oh, I just had a couple with my friends at home.
Nah, not today,
Couple
mate.
of decaf.
No.
Nah.
Not today, mate. You're caffeined out today, mate. Go sober up. Go calm down. Go drink of water. It's like, "Oh, where have you been, mate? John Lewis?" Nah, I don't believe you. That's why. Where's that about?
Oh, your mates, aye, your mates. ID?
No, that is true.
No.
Yes, it is.
No. You did it when you were working behind the tills.
No, I did it when I was working in the cafe at John
You
Lewis.
took phone numbers.
You went up, you stood by the entrance, and if anybody's walking in, you walked up to them, in front of them, stopped them, and said, "Hi, folks, could I just get a wee detail off you?" And got their phone number, or their email, or their physical address. Most
Do you know
phone
how I
numbers.
know that you're lying?
How's that?
I've been in, and no one was fucking there.
That was because it was late in the day and nobody was doing it. Somebody will have still... I swear somebody did ask you at the door.
Nah.
Well, we should have asked you at the tills
I
then.
walked in.
But did not
I didn't
ask...
buy anything.
But did we not ask you about the tills at the track and trace? We really should have. Because, mate, you can look it up, because that was the law. Because the law... No, honestly, the law was...
I just remember walking in and you insulting me instantly. I'll take this one, lads.
I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was that, yeah. I was like, "Oh, I'll take this one. He looks like a right Roy. He goes, trouble, man. I'll take this guy. Don't worry. No, genuinely, do you not remember for that whole, for ages?
No, I'd never worked in John.
No, shut up. Do you not remember? I wasn't referring to the last thing I said. It's referring to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Do you not
No,
remember?
I never worked in John Lewis Campbell.
No, I don't remember. I just said I didn't remember being asked at the door. What? Do you not remember?
Yes.
For that whole, year or two, when you walked into a pub or a restaurant, you had to give them a phone number.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
track and trace.
That's true.
It was just
That's
track and
true.
trace, that's all it was. Yeah. You did actually, you had to get your phone numbers off them. And the thing is, right,
That's just
most
a bit
people...
boring, though,
It was quite boring. It was so boring, mate. It was called hosting, but it was the worst one of the jobs, because everyone hated it. Because I used to think it'd be really good, because you just stand there.
Yeah.
It's terrible, because you just stand there.
Yeah.
It's like 7 hours, and you're still like that. Literally standing, and people come up, and you're like, "Hi, can I get a wee detail off you for track and trace?" And you're like, "Oh, okay. Alright, great, thanks, alright. Hi, can I take a wee detail off for track and trace?" I started just trying to chat to them because I was that bored,
You should have had a wee bit of banter.
No, I did. Well, the thing is, they were never up for it.
Despite a fucking team.
These wanted to come in. They were always weirded out exactly because it was somebody approaching them out of nowhere and asking their phone number. There's this one guy who was really funny, and this is how bored I was, right? I walk up to him like, "Alright, man, hi, can I just get your phone number off track and trace?" And he goes, "Is that a legal requirement?" And he's not wearing a mask, because the back of the mask is a lot bigger as well. And I think that's a really interesting question. Is it a legal requirement? So do you have to give your phone number for track and trace?
Yeah.
Well, so this is the thing, right? There's elements to that. You know what I mean? There's there's...
No, on you.
There's there's dimensions to that. So I was like, is it a legal requirement? Well, I suppose for the phone number, specifically. And he went, "No, but do I have to do it? Is the shop making me do it?" And I went, "Well, it's definitely a shop policy thing, yeah. Because that's straightforward. Yeah, they want you to do it. And then she went, "Yeah, no, it's definitely a shop policy thing." I was about to start talking about it, but the more interesting thing is, it's a legal requirement for the phone number. But then she just went, "Oh, okay, it's..." And then just gave me it. I was like, "Oh, okay."
It'd be great if you really just broke that down.
I was about to. He wasn't having it. I really wanted to. Right, this guy came in. He was called like it was something else beginning with an H, like Harry Caulfield, but Caulfield was spelled exactly like the Caulfield out of Holden Caulfield out of Catcher in the Rye. And again, I was pretty bored of this. I was like, "You ever read Catcher in the Rye?" And he's like, "Now what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a belt, mate. It's a book with a guy H Caulfield spelled like exactly like your name, mate." He was like, "Oh yeah, for real?" And I was like, "Yeah, read it." He's like, "All right, I will."
Should have thrown a lot bigger curveballs than that. Like, should have been like, "Oh, so you never." I don't know actually.
You never...
You know, I've got a cat that's called that.
Hi, can I get a wee
I met
phone
a
number?
cat.
Can I get a wee phone number and a name off you? Okay, Harry McGraw. I bet you've never fucked a man whilst he's dying. Sorry, it was a phone number as well?
Sorry,
phone
just
number
the
with you for
email.
me?
I'll take that off you. And
No, the journey weren't in the middle part because they were a bit weirded out by it. There's that one guy.
what were you asking Harry Maguire? If he's
I don't know.
No, mate.
Are you here to? Are you here to return the fridge or is that you?
Ooh, it's a little Man United burn right there.
We tried to stay topical.
Is this the football? Is this the football section of the podcast?
This is the football section.
This is what we've all been waiting for.
Birmingham City pumped that other team, so they did.
It was
7-0.
Coventry.
Coventry
They lost
Town.
4-2. That's genuinely true.
7-0 or lost.
That's genuinely
Oh, you
true.
actually know the scores?
Oh, I genuinely knew that one.
Ooh. Bristol Rovers. Bristol Thistle FC have put 9 past the Civic Service Fancies.
Wanderers.
Jim Thornton's Beach Boys.
Atletico Wrexham.
Atletico Mints is a really good name for a podcast.
Atletico Mints is fantastic. Such a good podcast as well. Just so many funny voices. He's got a silly one for Steve Bruce. He's got a silly one for Steve McLaren. He's got all the Steves.
I was about to say, pick somebody who isn't fucking Steve and you get the creativity. This is what you'll never see from my shadowy face viewers. You'll never see me go in the same character twice.
Never. It's physically impossible.
Apart
Apart
from
from all the clothes.
Apart from the character, yeah, I'm always portraying. Which is, of course, a facade.
A mirage.
A mirage, that's a good one, yes. Like a
Campbell
ghost
Mirage.
upon the wind.
See, none of the viewers can see the facial expressions though, because they're just shadows.
I'm doing really, really funny ones.
Oh yeah.
Mine are hilarious. Mine are some of the best facial work you've seen since Robin Williams.
See, the viewers can't see me doing the Mexican wave with my eyebrows right now.
He's not,
Funnily
you
enough,
can't do that, he's lying.
Funnily enough, my most viewed video on YouTube.
How many views does that have?
167.
Put like a pop-up at the end of it, like listen to the Garagecast. Mate, you've got to do that, because that'll probably draw like 2 people in at most, and that's like, that is literally infinitely higher than our current viewer count. So you know it'd be worth it.
I've not checked their channel in a bit, but I'm assuming we're still on no views.
Hold on a minute, viewers. This is going to be the process notes section.
The process notes, yeah.
Where we review previous podcasts and data and analyse why they're doing well or poorly, and what fodder we need to give you, scum, to get you keep on tuning in.
So the analytics from last week have showed that we've got no viewers. Alright, transition time. Ugh.
Hold on a minute, I've got something like this.
Ugh. Oh, Jesus. I mean, the Ian section of the podcast is just going great. Quite a relaxing time I'm having with the viewers here.
These last 25 seconds have been unofficial, please disregard.
And we're back.
Hi guys. Now that the podcast actually has some lighting, we'd like to say goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, thank God. Now that those clouds are right.
Fucking arseholes.
Anyway, back to our controversial views on hot button issues of the day. What was it you were saying about those damn SJWs? You know, those blue-haired ones.
The ones.
You know the ones. We all do. We can't say so anymore, in case it offends them.
You know, them.
Anyway, night-night, procrastinate.